Hello and welcome to Slamfire Radio, episode 478. Today is October 20th. I'm one of your hosts, Kyle.
I'm another host, Mo.
Hey, I'm Kelly.
Adriel.
Oh, shit. Hey, you spoke over top of me.
I did speak over top of you. Yeah.
That's okay.
I'm like, what is that? Negligent discharge? Accidental discharge?
It was
Premature.
It was
Premature discharge.
synchronized roll call.
Okay.
Oh, yours is way nicer, Mo.
Well, since Adriel is just itching to get talking, Adriel, why don't you tell us what you did in guns this week?
All right, I did a couple of things. I went to the range. So my youngest completed his hunter's ed.
Hey,
Hunter's
congratulations.
education. Yeah, I did his certification. Nice. Did really well on it, and like I check in with him every once in a while, but like he had all the answers. Got like 92 or something like that.
He's a smart cookie.
Yeah. So that got finished. So the very next thing is like, okay, well, we're gonna go to the range and we got to try out accuracy with some guns and see if you can actually shoot. Because like at a younger age, you can go grouse hunting. I thought like 12 is the age when you can go, but 12 is the age for deer hunting, and you can actually go earlier for grouse. So
yeah,
that was
10.
news to me. 10, yeah. So news to me, and that's why he took it. And so I took him to the range to try the 22 and see if he could be accurate enough to headshot a grouse. He is. So like he had no problems with. I've got a red dot 1022 back there with Magpul Hunter stock, and he was like shooting like that at 10 yards, and that's all you need for a grouse. So we did that, and we also shot to 20 gauge just to do it, and shot that great as well. So I think he'll be good to go with the 22, which is nice. Let's see, the MC312. I shot that. I haven't oiled it or done anything. Literally just like took it to the range from out of the plastic, so it's still got like packing oil and that kind of thing. Didn't run great with just the 1.1 ounce Winchester, but the 1.1 ounce stuff I have all ran fine and kicked the shells like way out. I might just need to oil it, or maybe trim the recoil spring. I'll oil it first. I'm gonna like work it in and oil it before I do anything too crazy on it to get it around the 1.25 ounce. Ran good though. Other than that, ran fine. It's actually the lifter on it is really nice. It's I really like the tension that's on it. It loads the shells really nice. They shuck in there really nicely. So I'm really liking it from that angle. And yeah, it's nice. I got the Jericho out again. I had a couple of times the last time I was out where I'm like, oh, I got trigger freeze. So I'm like, I'm pulling the trigger, but it's not going off. I must not have let it off enough, right? But I did actually, because this time out, I had it happen to me, and I had let my finger all the way off the trigger, and it still hadn't reset. So I think the trigger reset spring in there just isn't. It's like maybe it's a little bit tired from, I don't know, being in service for God knows 30, 40 years, however old that pistol is. And I think it just needs a new trigger reset spring. So I was looking around for like, okay, can I get a spring pack for these? Yeah, you can get a spring pack. You can get like a CZ75 spring pack that'll like include all the stuff. But you can do even better. Do you know who has stuff for the Jericho?
Who?
Cajun Gunworks. Cajun Gunworks has a bunch of Gucci parts for the Jericho. Competition hammer, which has the sear surfaces on it that are like some of the more important for that kind of a thing, plus springs, plus floating trigger pin, plus all this goody stuff. I'm like, ooh, that is really nice. So now I'm looking at how to get some of that stuff in Canada. We have like the local.
I'm just saying, cool. It is cool.
Yeah, the what are they called? Wild West. Wild West carries all that stuff. So I'm going to email them and see if they can bring some in for me, because I want to try it. I don't even know, like the trigger on it's not bad. I bet if I put like a competition hammer from Cajun Gunworks and put some tune springs in there, not like duty gun military police springs in there, I bet you it would run really nicely. I can't imagine it's going to be as good as Shadow, but still better than it is right now. I also blacked out the rear sights, and better. Yep. I got the Olympia out again. That's that 22 handgun, and the mags are starting to work in. They're starting to feel a little bit better. I did have some where like the round pops up instead of like goes into the chamber, which was annoying, but just that happens just the once out of, I don't know, 80 rounds or something like that. So that was pretty good. I brought my hunting rifles out. I was going to bring my oldest as well, but he's still testing positive for the COVID, so he got to stay home. So I tested his rifle, and yeah, it's still fine.
It's working.
We had them from last year that they're still sighted in and still like deadly accurate. So those are good to go. I was testing some new Gen 2 cross mags as well. Ran just fine. My Gen 1s ran just fine. So they are a little bit more textured, so they're a little bit more grippy, I guess. So that worked really well. And then I did some testing on the SBI Lynx lower. I've got 2 of those. So I was testing those out. One with the folding, what's the stock on there? Magpul Zhukov stock on it. And then I put out just a crap ton of videos. One on the Jericho, one on the Olympia, one on stabilizing your rifle. I put some shorts out on 3-gun belt setup. Is 3-gun dead in Canada? Total clickbait.
Yeah, saw that too.
Yeah, how to clean your Ruger Wrangler, and then how to clean a Savage Rascal. Because someone asked on one of my videos, like, how do you clean this thing? I was like, take the bolt out and like scrub it or something. I don't know, but like, no, maybe like if someone's asking, there's probably lots of other people who don't know,
so,
right? So
I spent a couple of days watching all your videos. By the way, you're a fabulous TikTok star now too. So I'm watching those. You've been doing reels on TikTok.
I've been doing reels on Instagram. I've been doing TikTok.
Is it not TikTok?
I've been doing TikTok.
I've been watching so much TikTok and
TikTok,
reels
Instagram,
and Instagram.
it's all the same.
But yeah, I saw you do the Ruger Wrangler breakdown. Board.
Do this. Brush this part over here. Yeah.
It was well done. I liked it.
Yeah. Well and done. You know what? So like the reason I've been doing those is because the first one I put one out on a whim. Which one was it? The cross mags. I put the cross mags short out there, and I got like 16,000 views in like an hour. So I'm like, holy crap! Like, oh, maybe I'll do some more of these things. None of them have been even close to that. And the Ruger Wrangler one, I thought was better. I thought it was like interesting and it was short and quick, but not even.
People are interested in the cross mags. They are.
Yes, I guess.
Yeah, I saw that too. That it was like, what was it? 17,000. I said he just put this out yesterday.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyways, I'll keep doing those just because they're fun. They're like a minute to do, and or not a minute to do. They're like 5 minutes to do, but
they only last a minute.
Yeah, they're fun to do. I put out an article on magazine base pads in Canada because I don't know. In case anyone's looking for that kind of thing, I thought I'd put up an article that says where you can get them and what they do and all that kind of stuff. And then this weekend, I'm going to go to the range to do a range visit with some people from work and grouse hunting with my youngest.
Okay.
I'm going to go visit the parents, and they have some grouse that are practically in their yard. My youngest might take one of them, or at least shoot at them.
Practically adjacent to the yard.
Well, they're on a farm, so it's in a bush. We're next, pretty close. You could shoot from the house.
It's okay to actually go shoot it from there, though.
Yes. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's far enough away from the house.
Okay.
The neighbors are click away on the other side. Anywho.
Oh yeah, you live in the middle of nowhere in rural Canada, where there is neighbors are a kilometer away.
No neighbors, don't need to worry about them. Yeah.
My neighbors run through my yard naked and jump over the fence.
I see. Or you see.
Yes, I did see a lot. It was a lot.
Too much?
Too much. Didn't need to see that. Thanks.
Yeah. So that's it for me. What about you, Kelly?
I spent last weekend, I did a doubleheader in London, Ontario. So we were at Crumlin. So thank you very much to the Crumlin Sportsman Association. Maple Seeds. It was pretty awesome days. Saturday was a little rainy, but no tornadoes. So that was a win. Sunday was 20 degrees and it was nice and sunny-ish. But yeah, we had a great time in Crumlin. I'll love to go back. We had lots and lots of riflemen. So it was was fantastic. And Russ Rodriguez, our new shoot boss. So he was the shoot boss for both events. And it was fun. It was nice to have not be the shoot boss and to it was actually a lot of fun. So other things that happened this week. I got in some things for Maple Seed. So the first thing that we got in was we have new trauma packs. So bought a bunch of those from Ragnarok Tactical. So I just wanted to give a shout out to Andrew and Gavin and the team at Ragnarok. They put these trauma bags together for us. So a whole bunch of them for our new shop bosses that are going to be they're going to get these.
Very nice.
So we have one gray one. So and I think Rick wants a new one, so I'll give that to him. Other things that I picked up this week were my feet. So usually buy new range boots. Well, it's been once every 2 years now. I try not to because they're expensive, right? So I got a new pair of range boots because I didn't get a new pair this year. So I went and got those as well. And these ones are really kick-ass.
Oh, those look fancy.
Yeah, Loa's. So these ones are really fancy. I just wanted to I'm giving a shout out to everybody who took care of me. So Kyle Kincaid, one of our instructors as well. He is the manager over at Smith Army Surplus, and they have not just Army stuff. They have all kinds of stuff. I buy all my tactical stuff there, as well as my Maple Seed stuff. So I bought a pair of range boots. So he took care of me there. So my feet are going to be super comfy because after 12 hours or 16 hours in the range, my feet are hurting. Yeah, but now they're going to be nice. But I only have, so this weekend, what's going to happen is Stittsville. So we have a double header in Stittsville. Maybe she boss there. And then not the next week, but the week after, then we're going to be going up to Penetanguishing. And we have 2 more Maple Seeds there. And then we're done for the year. So it's wrapping up and it's getting cold. And yeah, so it was a good week. Yeah. So I think that's it. I'm not sure. I can't really think. I've been spending all day traveling, so just got in before the show. So I think that's it. Kyle, what about you?
Not much. Sister and I went out hunting on Saturday. Yeah, Saturday.
How'd that go?
And went for a walk and actually sat in a stand, but we didn't see any deer. In fact, didn't really even see much for deer sign. But we did spook what sounded like a nice sized bull moose when we were walking in before shooting light and that. And then when we were actually heading out around midday, we actually stumbled upon a cow and calf moose. So that was cool. She got to actually see an animal out in the bush. And yeah, drove around trying to find a different location, try and find some more sign and that, and ended up going for a little bit of a walk, and we ended up shooting a grouse. And yeah, so came home. Yeah, Ashley was getting a little sore, so we came home. I cooked up the grouse, and that was basically it. That's
Shotgun 22 on the grouse.
Shotgun.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Bird shot number 6. I'm always worried about like meat damage and like chewing on pellets and that kind of thing. Like, what'd you guys use? And just,
normally I use like a number 2 or maximum number 6. Like I think I'm actually out of number 2 now, so it'll be like a number 4 to number 6, and it's just headshots. So
just pattern tight on the head.
Yeah, like the shotgun, it's a fixed choke, it's fixed modified, and I just sneak up as close as I can. You can usually tell when they're starting to get skittish and thinking about flying away, and so get close, put the bead on the head. And like this one, I think there was one pellet that went through just the tip of one breast, but the rest of the meat was all good. And yeah, but you definitely gotta know where your pattern is with the shotgun for sure.
If any of our listeners shoot them on the wing, let us know what shot you use in the comments there, because I'm curious about this.
I am too.
Curious, yeah, what shot and what choke to run? Would you run a 7.5 and run like a mod choke or something like that, and just smoke them on the wing? The 7.5 wouldn't get a lot of penetration, but would probably, like, if you get a couple in the head or something like that, do them in. and yet wouldn't damage the breast. I don't know. I never do this kind of shooting. I always use a 22, so I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, I use the shotgun because most of the time when I'm shooting grouse, it's on the way in or out, and so I can shoot the shotgun from the road where the 22 I can't.
Mm-hmm.
So
Cool.
But yeah, that's been my week. How about you, Mo?
I finally took my bull 1911 to the range the first time I fired it. It went
How was
pretty
that?
well. It went pretty well. I was happy with it. I brought my like IPSC gear and everything, so I was doing draws and doubles and a bunch of stuff. I was planning on using it for the match in Grenville this coming weekend and shooting like in the classic division, but I decided not to. So I will in the future, just I wasn't ready yet because I was dry firing with it too. And I'm still not used to a couple things. Obviously the mags are slimmer, the single stack versus the double stack. And then the other issue was the mag release button is a little bit more of a struggle for me to get to, so I got to rotate my thumb. So that's something I got to get more comfortable. Like with the Tanfolio and the CZ before that, it was just easier. It was just easier for me to get to the mag button for changes, right? So it's something I'll practice and get better at, but I just didn't want to do it for this. I want to a few more weeks before I actually try it in a match. So that was it for that. I started since I moved to the temporary place, I haven't really done too much dry fire practice because I had put my target stands away and things like that. So I finally like got a bunch of loose targets and just put them around in the basement in various spots wherever I could just put them down. And then so I started to practice, and it's going pretty well. And I just found it. I since I haven't been doing it, it's like certain things are slipping. So just get back to practicing again. I renewed my membership for the indoor range in Montreal, so I did that because if we have to renew it here, or else we have to take that Law 9 course again. So that's a bit of a
Really?
pain. Yeah, you have to.
Is that a
You have
Quebec
to
thing?
renew. Yes, that's a Quebec thing. So you
So
have
Quebec
to
is doing
renew.
their own thing again.
Well, they've been there for a while, but yeah, you have to. The Law 9 course, I took it when I first moved here, so that I could become a member of a range in Quebec, and then you have to keep it up, right? So not keep it up. You have to just renew your membership in a timely fashion, or you end up having to do the course again. So, really, that's it for me. I'm just looking forward to actually haven't done a match in a couple weeks, so weekends, and the weather's supposed to be pretty nice in Grenville, like 16, 17 degrees. So no snow, no minus 20. So anything else? So that's good. That's it for me.
Yay! New guns.
Yep.
Awesome.
New guns.
New guns.
Cool. Well, we'll get into upcoming events, and it is coming up in winter now, so there isn't much, but there is one. Got an email asking us to plug the Lloydminster Gun Show. It's going to be on January 21st, 22nd of 2023. And their motto is, if you can't make it down to SHOT Show, come on down to our show.
I like
And
it.
if you're interested in getting a
Lloydminster.
table, they're always looking for more people and businesses to come set up at the show. So get a hold of them.
Yeah.
Them?
Yeah, listener Mike.
Yeah.
Mike.
And
Mike
Someone
Mike
from
sent
Lloyd.
to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Find a
Just-
gun person in Lloyd.
flip
They'll
through
know
the
what to
phone
do.
book and just pick them the phone number and call them.
Phone book.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey,
the
are
old
you
pages.
this Mike guy that we heard about? I want to come to the gun show. Just pick a mic.
Any Mike.
Any mic. Mike, any mic.
Mike H. They'll narrow it down.
Mhm.
Ladies' Days. If you're looking to run a Ladies' Day yet this year or planning for next year, get a hold of Kelly and she'll get you all sorted out with sponsorship and support. You can get a hold of her at slamfireradio at gmail.com or info@firearmsrights.ca. And we'll get on to the news. And it looks like
I added this one here. Lucky and Blair both lied to the commission. So they
What?
No way. They
Serious?
lied?
I'm as surprised as you
Oh,
guys.
I'm
Jesus.
speechless.
Sorry, I will stop. I have to mute myself.
Government
Let's
officials
be-
lying? I can't believe it.
Apparently someone recorded this infamous call, and it's pretty damning. It's pretty damning. It's just, she's just saying basically like, yeah, you guys realize there's this gun legislation coming, and I need this information. This gun legislation's coming. My boss is asking for this stuff. He's asking for it this many times. I need to get
If
to him.
there was anybody who didn't know that, I'm so sorry for you.
It was super
If
obvious.
you're
We
that
all
naive.
knew this was obvious. Yeah, but
Sorry. Yeah.
the fact that it's recorded, woo! You know,
Yeah.
a smoking gun, it doesn't get much more smoky
Yeah.
than that.
You
This
do
is
know
it. This
that
is more than
everything,
just
and I
notes.
mean everything is
right?
recorded.
This is
Yeah.
a big deal.
Well,
So
that's
they
someone-
not only did they record it, they also took notes.
well, I think
hid the note.
if you're dealing with politics and
It's called CYA.
yeah, it's definitely CYA. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that den of thieves for sure.
Or in this case, it's BYA.
BYA. Bring your own
Bury
house.
your ass.
No.
Encourage your ass. I don't know. Yeah. Anyways, it's pretty damning. If you listen to like, never mind the words, listen to the recording. It's like, woof. She is like putting the heat on him. They emailed her afterwards. That was inappropriate. That was unprofessional. That was one of the communications directors that emailed her afterwards. This is like smoking gun. I don't know if anything will happen or not. Politics
Probably not.
That's this weird thing about what people get upset about or not. It's like you could, lie about this stuff, but like you're screwed if you buy some expensive orange juice. That's like, no, sorry.
It's
your
amazing how
political
much
career's
stuff
over.
is going on
Yeah.
right now. So there's also the hearings that are about the Emergency Measures Act too. Prime Minister is going to test about that. Brenda Lucky is going to testify too. Bill Blair, everybody.
Yeah,
Well,
But that won't have any teeth. That won't have any teeth.
no.
No, it was
But I'm
built
just
into
saying.
the act, but like this is the first time we've ever used it, and because it's who's using it, there's going to be no outcome of it.
OPP was a little bit damning. Said
Yeah, but everyone knew that there was like lots of screw ups around that thing.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, that's it.
speaking of wonderful government, CCFR legal challenge. The dates have been set. April 11th to 20th, 2023. CCFR et al. Versus Canada. And it's going to be in Ottawa, but they still need donations to cover costs. So consider donating to that, getting your CCFR membership. To donate, you can send an EMT to finance@firearmsrights.ca. And we'll get on to the new gun stuff.
Coming up a little bit too quickly on me here. Let's get that on the other screen.
Oh, we're waiting. It looks like Russ is telling us I filed a complaint against Lookie and they gave me a case number. Yeah, it's not gonna.
Nice.
But yeah,
Your heart's in the right place.
Yeah,
you won't
it's-
succeed.
yeah.
Okay, I got a couple things I wanted to show here. Let's start with over here.
Tell us what.
Okay.
TK
I've seen some T1Xs have problems on the line,
Mhm.
and then primarily on the magazine.
Mhm.
NDR Shooting Supplies is making an aluminum 15-round mag for the Tika T1X.
Cool.
I know a lot of guys who run the T1X in like CRPS and ORPS and that kind of thing.
Yep.
These magazines are expensive. I don't know. Where's the price? $80? Oh, that's not so bad. I thought they were going to be more. They might have had another price up here before. $80 isn't bad. They're like an aluminum sided magazine, custom made for the T1X. I mean, that's more than reasonable for that kind of thing. Heck, an FLS 9 magazine is like $75, and that's a factory mag for a pistol. Yeah, aluminum, double stack, single feed, anti-tilt follower. Looks really neat. That's gonna be coming November 2022 is the ETA on this thing, so it should be coming soon. If I was a T1X owner, I'd be super excited about this because this gives me a little bit more capacity and it potentially gives me more reliability.
Yeah. No, I said that really loudly, didn't I?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if you have friends have them.
North Silva announced these MMP 1,000 round bulk 9mm that's made in Canada with a non-toxic primer. These are not reloads. This is fresh virgin brass. I didn't know that we had a company in Canada that made fresh ammo. Like I know we have like reloaders, like we have reloading setups that do like used brass and that kind of thing. But these guys are using lead-free primers, new brass, 124 grain
124,
FMJ bullets. I don't know what the cost is, but maybe
I couldn't find it anywhere. But I mean, I didn't check every single gun store, but I couldn't find them.
Well, this was fairly new.
It says stocking dealers, but doesn't list the dealers. So
this is yesterday though that they just announced this. So and they might not like because North Silva is the distributor. It might be a while before these are at retailers.
Yeah,
actually show
it'll
up.
take a bit.
Oh, it says right there, Quebec, Terrebonne, Quebec, Canada. It says on the box.
Who is Terrebonne?
I don't know. Terrebonne.
Who's
Terrible?
doing that?
Terrible?
Terrebonne. It's near
know.
Montreal. It's near. You should do it. You know what? Hey, Mo, you should be the reporter on the street. You should go and knock on the door.
I'm going to go buy ammo. I'll do reporting by buying ammo.
Yeah, just go and say, hey, have you listened to Slamfire Radio? My name's Mo. I do small batches. Adriel, stop.
Thank you, Adriel.
Stop it.
Adriel Michaud, arrête.
Man with the Frenchest name in your song.
Arrête there. All right, moving on. Delask has, if you're looking for takedown barrels, they have some 12.5 inch blued barrels on the website now for takedowns. It's very nice and short. That's a nice short barrel on your takedown. That's really interesting. I like 12-inch barrel. My kid's red dot rifle in the back there that he's been using, that I also take to Maple Seeds as like a loaner for youth, is a 12-inch barrel. I love it. It's just a little bit longer than the Magpul Hunter stock.
Yep.
So it's basically stock and just a teeny tiny little bit of barrel poking out the end. It's so nice. Highly recommended. 12.5-inch barrel.
Get your barrel over the shit line. What? Okay. What?
Frontier Firearms has some side-by-side shotguns if you're after some. These are like used European ones. $399, like so $400 flat for some classy side-by-sides. If you want that classy side-by-side v grouse action, that's probably the cheapest way to go, right?
Yeah. We were talking about that.
Side-by-sides versus over-unders and shotguns.
Yeah, we were talking about actually doing a show on that. I think we need to.
I think we need to as well.
Bookmark this page.
Stay tuned.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. Well, if you're looking for cheap over-unders or side-by-side, so Frontier Firearms has some, and the other one is Inner Surplus if you're looking for really cheap ones. Because I don't know what deal, like those, a lot of those came from Tradex originally. Tradex brought in like a whole schwack load of shotguns from Europe. Yeah, schwack load. It's a couple of tons.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some measurement. Yeah.
They're all like used shot. I don't know how they got them, but they got a whole pile of used shotguns and brought them over here, and I like them. I have one over here somewhere. What else we got here? I wanted to make mention of the handguns that are still available that I could find. So Prophet River has a few Ruger Wranglers. I was like, after I did that video of the Jericho, they're all gone. What's that?
I said they're not really handguns.
The Ruger Wrangler? Hand revolver.
No.
Revolver. So I did the video on the Jericho. SFRC had some. They're all gone.
Are they gone?
Yeah.
Okay.
I checked before the show here. They're all gone. I got a buddy who bought one of those. And then I think Western Munitions had some, but they want $800 or something like that. It's
really?
gonna get down to that. It's gonna get down to no one's gonna have stock except for the people who like charge way high, and someone's gonna be desperate enough to buy those things at that price.
You can get $2,000 Glocks on CGN.
I should put some of my guns that I don't really want for like outrageous prices just to see when and if they sell. I'm a staunch capitalist, so I believe in the.
You are.
Yeah. Yeah. So they say they sell for the value, and the value is what the market's willing to pay. Mm-mm-mm.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna stop.
Other guns that are available for sale. Tenda has SIG P320. At least they did at the start of the show. Frontier said they have several thousand Beretta 92S's. These are going for 550. Yeah, that's what they said on the CGN post. Now they had something else there that I found kind of interesting. They still have stripped frames for Walther P1s, Enfield number 2s, and Webley Mark 4s. I don't know about the Enfield number 2 or the Mark 4s. That sounds like they would be hard to piece together, but the P1s would be easy enough. If you don't have a handgun yet, and you want to really want a handgun, but you don't have any money, get a P1 stripped frame from Frontier Firearms, and then you can build it later. A P1 will actually it'll be 9mm. You can build it up how you want to. I'm not sure what the Enfield number 2 or the Webley Mark 4 shoot, but it's probably something that's, I don't know, harder to get, not as fun to shoot. P1s would be better. Anyways, they have some of those things too.
Cool. So there are actually some handguns still available, surprisingly enough.
Yep. Yeah. Russ is saying, never seen anyone shoot skeet well with a side-by-side. Okay for partridge hunting, though, or wall hangers. Yeah, I hate using, every time I shoot a side-by-side, I really dislike them. The over-under, at least as they got like one plane. Side-by-side just seems like really wide. I can be fine for grouse. For grouse, would be fine. Upland bird. Yeah. These are cheap enough, like at $3.99. You could just own one just because they're fun. These are those were coach guns too. I forgot to mention those were, so they have external hammers. So if you were like that old-timey cowboy, if you wanted to get into cowboy shooting, hammers. Yep.
There you go. Okay, we get into the main topic.
All right, and for the main topic, we have Ben Stoeger joining us. Ben, why don't you introduce yourself to our listeners? I bet a lot of our listeners are also your listeners, but maybe just a quick introduction for those who might not have heard of you.
Hi, well, I'm Ben. I'm a traveling shooting instructor. I do competitive shooting, some law enforcement like handgun classes, some rifle stuff, a very small amount of like military training. I do digital coaching, so the same sort of training I do online as a service, and I've written a lot of books on the subject. That's pretty much it. Kind of my whole life is shooting and teaching.
How did you get started in something like that? Have you been doing it for a fairly long time recently? How long has it been?
I guess I got started teaching formally in 2008, I think. Yeah, it was 2008. But for a few years before that, I'd been putting a lot of material online, like training material and reference material that I found useful. So I had people ask me to start doing it. So I did, and it's been full time, like kind of the only thing I've been doing since 2011, I think.
Mm-hmm. It's a really interesting kind of career path, getting into to full-time instructing. What's it like? So I'd imagine you have like a lot of prep time in between classes, and then you've kind of got a lot of traveling to do on the weekends. Is that about right?
No, so I teach during the week now,
Okay.
a lot, and travel quite a lot. Like I think I had 22-day classes in the last 60 days, something like that.
Oh my goodness.
Well, there was a few nights that I didn't sleep. One night I flew from Sacramento to Richmond, Virginia overnight. Like I finished Friday night here and I needed to be across the country Saturday morning. And I just slept on the plane and then did my deal the next day. So my schedule's a little hectic, you might say.
Yeah, exactly. I think Kelly can relate. She started up Maple Seed, which is kind of similar to Appleseed up here. And during one summer, she traveled across Canada doing training clinics like the whole way and traveling in between. It's I don't know
Grind.
if I can do it. quite a grind. Yeah. How did you so you'd mentioned that you were sharing materials online and that kind of thing. You've won a couple of competitions as well in order to like establish your cred, right? USPSA, that kind of thing.
Yeah, so I've won I think 8 USPSA national titles and IPSC world title, and I've won the Europeans. I can't hold the title, but I've won the European, which is pretty hard. So I've won a lot of matches.
I think it's important as a trainer, I guess, that you'd be able to do that, right? You need to be able to not just talk the talk, but walk it once in a while as well.
You need to be able to do what you're teaching people. Like if you're showing people high level competition shooting, then you have to be able to do high level competition shooting.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but if you're showing them something else, you need to understand that it does not. I don't think the world revolves around competition shooting.
Yeah, and you had mentioned that you're getting into virtual training. I think that's with PSTG, right? Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Well, I mean, that's not really new. We've been doing so practical shooting training group. It's like it looks like a forum if you log into it, but there's more than that. It's a lot of training materials, and there's also like a feedback component. So we have students upload video of them shooting a match or shooting a drill or something in practice, and then we take the video and record a feedback and give them feedback on what they're doing. And we've been doing that since like 2018. So like I said, it's not really new, but it's we've learned a lot doing it. I'd say like we're pulling stuff off of footage I never thought we could understand and like fix in a remote setting. But yeah, I mean that's been good.
Yeah, I think one of the interesting things about listening to your podcast is, and I get like this would be obvious, but it wasn't obvious like immediately. Was just the fact that you can ask the same question of multiple instructors, and if they really know what they're talking about, they'll give like basically the same answer. It seems like there's like from a really beginner's standpoint, it seems like there's a lot of art, but actually when you think about it, and when you see how your instructors and the other people on the podcast answer some of the common questions that come up, it's all just science. It's all just they have common answers to some of those common problems, right?
Yeah, well, really shooting is pretty simple. I think people that don't understand it want to like dress it up in a bunch of nonsense, but shooting fundamentally is not really that complicated. It's hard to do. It's just not, you're not trying to do something that's really complex.
Mm-hmm. I've got a kind of a selfish question here. You talked about target focus in some of your podcasts. I've only ever done target focus. Is it something that you'd seriously recommend for new shooters, for more experienced shooters, starting with target focus, or would you still always like, because like the common, I guess, training is to like always do a front sight focus, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Like people have the perception that makes them more accurate, but if they're shooting the gun in a practical setting, I don't think that's true. For most people, I don't think it's true at all that like front sight focus makes them more accurate than target focus. I think a lot of people don't understand target focus. When you say target focus, you don't mean you're not using the sights. You're still aligning them. You're still using them and seeing them, and you see where the 3 bumps are on the slide. They're just blurry. You still use them, and the target's clear. And I think if you really test it, you're going to be more accurate shooting target focused with 2 eyes open.
Interesting, yeah. And one other thing that I've heard you guys mention a couple of different times is taping over the dot, like the red dot. Can you tell us more about what that's all about?
All right. So if you have a red dot sight and you tape over the front of it, it's called occluding the dot. If you have normal eyes, like this doesn't work for everybody. Like 98% of people this will work for, but not everyone. So you tape over the front of the dot, and then if you have normal binocular vision, both your eyes can see the target. What you'll see is a ghost image of your gun superimposed over the target with the red dot as part of that image, and then you'll see the target clear. You want to pick a defined spot and have the red dot go to that spot. That's what you want. If you get drawn into the red dot visually, then the dot will appear clear and your gun will appear clear, but then you'll start to perceive the tape over the front of the dot, and then it shuts down your view of the target. Now you're focused on something up close. So, your dominant eye will take over and you'll see that tape and you'll realize you can't see the target. So that becomes a good training tool to keep you focused on the target.
Yeah, it's really interesting. It's not something that I think a lot of people have tried, but I've heard you guys mention it a couple of times on the podcast. Seems really interesting.
Right. So most people like if they say, yeah, I'm focused on the target and I'm focused on the target all the time, they're wrong. Like it's
Yeah.
there. Nobody does it all the time.
Yeah.
So if you believe that, like you're definitely wrong about believe that about yourself. So like once you realize that, using a training tool to help figure out like, oh yeah, my eye's getting drawn on the dot, like when I perceive the target's as far away or whatever, or when I'm leaning around something and shooting, like, yep, I see what's happening. That's why people do that.
Yeah. Yeah, not really anything to do with instruction. I was just really curious because it's something that I've heard you guys talk about that seemed interesting. In terms of instruction, what have you found successful in terms of like getting students into classes? Do you have to advertise a lot? Do you just like get by on brand name alone now? Do you have to like what do you got to do to fill the classes?
Well, I just put stuff out on social media all the time, just instructional stuff. I put whole classes on YouTube. It's like, hey, if you like it, come to the class. And, if you don't, that's fine too. It's like, so that has worked for me. I don't know what will work for other people, but just putting out. I mean, I'm pretty open about what I'm doing. So I mean, I'll answer people's questions on podcasts or, hey, here's this drill that we're doing, like whatever. And I think that works. I mean, if you don't know what you're talking about, that won't work. But for me, it's okay.
Yeah. I've noticed, especially in the last month or two. Well, I guess there was a bit where you couldn't post up there, but you've been going pretty hard on Instagram, posting little clips of videos.
Yeah, I've been shitting on a lot of people on Instagram. Definitely.
He's an Instagram star now.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's been good fun.
Yeah, the content's been really good, and I've enjoyed a lot of the little clips that you've been putting up, as well as the other shenanigans that you've been up
the shenanigans are definitely fun.
Yeah. But so in terms of what you're trying to do next in instruction, are you like working on developing more material? Are you working on getting more books out? What's coming up next?
Yeah, so I'm kind of shifted. I want to do a lot more rifle shooting. Actually, I ordered a lot of rifle ammo. I ordered like 40,000 rounds in the last couple of weeks. It's shown up now, and I've unpacked it, and it was like I have to find a place to put it if I get more. So I'm going to shoot a lot of rifle, and I'd like to teach more rifle. I have a rifle book coming, so that should all be all be good. Yeah, that's kind of the big goal for now. I'm not sure what I'll do after that.
Huh. Yeah, I have noticed like a lot more rifle clips. I think on YouTube now because I was seeing a couple of clips that you had over there as well. But that's is that primarily to address like more military or more civilians that are just more interested in learning their rifle, or just to have like another thing to teach?
I mean, it's kind of both. So the style of rifle shooting that I do is like it's like the way that our special forces soldiers are trained to shoot. I mean, fundamentally, it's like up close, aggressive carbine shooting, and then paired with a pistol, shot from retention as well. So there's a lot of guys who are trained to do that, but there's not a game built around it. But it's also a lot of fun. So I started shooting in that style because I was doing military pistol training. So they're like, hey, you should train with this because we'd be curious what you can do with this. So I started training it. I got some guns and I got some more guns and I kept training it and I've been teaching it. So yeah, it's been interesting for me. So I think there'll be a lot of people interested in training that way when they kind of see what it's all about.
Yeah, and competing in that way too. We, for rifle pistol combo sports up here, we have CQB, service rifle CQB. That's a very accuracy based sport, though. It's not action shooting. There's three gun, but then you got to shoot a shotgun. Some people really don't like that aspect of three gun.
Two gun. We also have two gun.
Two gun would be the way to go.
Yeah.
Is that your intention? Is to like, are there any two gun matches out there? Or are you looking to
not that are built around this? Like maybe, so there may be another organization coming forth, like built around this kind of thing. I guess we'll see. But no, I mean, I think I think the rifle content will appeal to many law enforcement and military guys, and I think a lot of other people will see it and like it and want to try it.
Yeah.
So-
well, sorry, go ahead, Kelly.
I was just going to say, is it more practical compared to other sports that are out there?
It's practical for the way you use a rifle. Yeah.
Correct. Okay. So specifically for LEO or military?
No, it's not specific to that, but like
Okay.
it's the way they're trained to shoot those guns.
Okay.
Like up close and aggressive, like up to 75 yards, like standing aggressive shooting, like not like even with magnification, just shooting a red dot.
Straight. Okay.
Love it.
That would
Yeah.
be fun.
Yeah.
Well, some of our 3-gun courses of fire are kind of like that. They're that close in, fast shooting, but with a shotgun. Where a shotgun doesn't really belong anywhere on like a attack in the tactical scene. Rifle pistol definitely does though. That's
Yeah. So with 3-gun, typically it's up close and aggressive hosing with the rifle. But if you're doing normal scoring, then you're not considering the hits. There just has to be 2 anywhere.
Yep.
Which, I don't love that. I'm going to be honest with you. But then if they're testing accuracy, it'll be like 8-inch plates at 200 yards or something, where you're pretty seriously hosed if you just have a red dot. I mean, you're at a disadvantage against magnification.
definitely. Yeah. So you're thinking like hit factor then, something that's around
definitely
that
shooting hit factor.
Hmm.
And then making it so the courses of fire are still interesting without magnification. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, my 3-gun matches, I run a rifle with a red dot. That's all I run. It's nice and fast, close up. It's accurate enough for long distance. I think like a 4 MOA target is a bit tough, but it's doable.
Yeah,
it's just not as good. But for all that downside, close in, if you've got to shoot like under a car or through a window or somewhere where that rifle can't be like seated properly, that red dot, it's great because there's no parallax there. There's no eye box to worry about. Anywhere you can see that dot is good enough. So you can.
No, the red dot's like a way more practical solution.
Sure. Yeah. It makes it shooting through like a VTAC or something like that way better than a scope, because the scope is just, it's not as great shooting that kind of a thing. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I think I heard a little bit about that off of the in-range interview you did. What was that? 2 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago?
Something like that.
Yeah. I heard the alluding to different rule sets and that kind of thing. It's interesting because right now in Canada, there is no like centralized 3-gun rule set, because our rules are just like what we're limited to here is just so different than the US that we have to run something different. But I have seen like more sports running USPSA multi-gun rules, or trying to run off of that. We had 3-gun nation rules before, but that kind of like went out the window. UML hasn't really been doing like, well, I guess there's some clubs that run it. Kyle?
There's some, I don't know.
Yeah, there's still a couple matches going on down in the States, but it's I don't know. I think it's pretty much out. I think they're still trying though.
Yeah. So I'm not sure where we're going with that. If we're going to use USPSA multi-gun and that's what we're going to stick with, or if it's going to be something else, maybe like the Brutality series or something like that. I like it. Like there's definitely a lot of people out there who like that style of match, that Brutality style, but it can be hard to do like a race, like a proper competitive race when you're doing Brutality style, because Brutality style is there's like more random like RNG in there. But in terms of just getting back to the instruction, what's a typical class like for one of the classes you'd put on?
It's typically like, if it's like an open enrollment civilian competition class, it's a 2-day thing. Usually I'll use a few bays or 2 bays. We'll have a stage build, which we'll talk about, and people will shoot it. I especially like to see their cold shooting. And then we work through a series of drills and exercises, to highlight specific areas like your grip, or, what you're doing with your vision, or some spots where you're building tension, that's throwing off your target transition, stuff like that, and just kind of work through people shooting systematically until they understand what's happening.
Awesome. And what kind of round count are they running through in a day?
In a day, like typically it's like 500 a day on average. It can be more or less depending on who they are and what they're doing. So if I do if it's like a military unit and if they're not limited as far as ammo, I've had guys shoot 2,000 a day. Which is like,
that's a lot of reloading time.
Yeah.
oh well, no, it's no reloading time actually for them. It's it's pretty wild.
Yeah.
So I shoot in those cases, I'll shoot a lot with them. Like I'll shoot 2,000 a day with them. I'll shoot a lot.
That's got to be great. Get a little bit of reps in, get some practice.
Yes. If you've shot that much, like there comes a point where it's like your hands are pretty sore and you're just like, whatever.
Yeah. That's that's really interesting. If someone is listening now and they've got the ear of their range, how do they get you out to their range to instruct?
Just give me an email, send an email and I'll send you a list of requirements. Like basically if their range can do an IPSC match in theory and they're safety wise, they're okay with me coming, then it'll be fine. We can work it out. Like if they have those things, it is okay.
Yeah. Yeah. 2,000 rounds a day. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Oh
man. I have had some interesting opportunities in my life.
So are you
shooting a lot?
I did have a question. Are you able to come up to Canada? Like Adriel was saying that prior to COVID, you actually had something scheduled for Edmonton. No issues at all right now with coming up to Canada.
Not from me. No, I've been to Canada I think I've been to Canada 30 or 40 times.
Awesome. For training specifically.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
You've competed in some of our nationals too, IPSC nationals, I believe.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm talking about specifically of knowledge transfer. Sometimes it's we're able to go down there a little bit. What?
Are you talking about ITAR, Kelly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my stuff's all open source. It's all published.
True.
So doesn't
you
matter.
Publish it on YouTube and say, here it is.
Letting it's in books too, so it's
that's true too.
Pretty hard to argue it's protected.
Yeah. Perfect. So we can send you an email and say, come on up.
Awesome.
Or we can go down there.
Yeah.
It's more fun to go down there. We can shoot better guns. Different ones.
Mags that aren't capped.
Yeah.
Take those. Yeah.
The mag thing's annoying. The no AR thing really sucks.
Yeah.
We know.
Yeah, we know. We've been running, some people have been running RDBs, like the Keltec RDBs, Tavor X95s. And then we also have these locally made 180 clones that like the AR 180. That's like a big thing up here. So we've got all these clones of those things that that people have been running, but it's not the same as an AR-15. It's just they're not as cheap. They're not as accurate. They're not as good. They're not as reliable as just a plain old $500, $600 AR.
Right. Or more expensive ARs, which are still sitting in our safes right now. So
did they offer you money for a buyback yet?
Stop.
Oh, that money will never come, Ben.
It'll never come?
No.
They're running into budget problems now. So
that's a bummer.
Yeah. So
I hope Trudeau's not doing a great job, but hard to say. No, it's not really hard to say. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel bad for you guys. Like our situation's not a lot better, but still.
Yeah. Well, at least right now you have some protection, but we don't.
Decent protection at the Supreme Court level. Yeah, we don't have any. We don't have anything like that. We're hooped. Basically, if you're really into guns in Canada, you got to move. You got to get a job in the U.S. and move. That's like the best move for you.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. Other questions from the hosts, Kyle? Mo?
Yeah. I had one. As an instructor, your biggest gripe when you're at a class with students, common things that students do that just rubs you the wrong way.
I don't really get annoyed with people, but it does. Like the people that don't, like understand what's going on because I don't do a whole lot of talking. So we're like explaining like, hey, this is what we're doing. People that don't pay attention to that is kind of annoying, to be honest. If it's like more than once the same class, the same person, it's like Jesus.
It's always going to be the same person.
Yeah.
Can be.
So if somebody's actually at your class, do they need to know what they're doing first of all, or can a novice go in?
Oh no, it'd be like the people that I would want are people that have, I guess you'd say they passed a black badge course in Canada.
Cool. Yeah.
Like those type of people. So we don't do any stuff like that. And it's yeah, I guess it'd be more serious.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you if are you going to the World Shoot in Thailand?
No,
No.
I'm not eligible for IPSC competition at the moment.
No.
Oh, even for okay.
No.
So we had a question from one of our listeners. He says, "Can you bring your handguns into Canada now without tons of paperwork to import?" So have you tried traveling since we've had some issues up north here?
I haven't tried to go to Canada for a while, but I don't know.
It's going to be interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I always had to get a permit. Well, I need an ATT and like a temporary license, but I'd have the temporary license before I showed up at the border.
Yeah.
I can't imagine it's any easier than it was. It wasn't that easy before.
No, it's
No,
much
it
easier
never
for us
gets
to go
easier.
down with ours than, although, yeah.
Well, I know even for us coming back right now with our handguns, we have to get a totally separate permit to be able to bring them in because of that importation ban. I read that some guys were actually getting stuck at the border coming into the country with their own handguns. So,
yeah, it's gonna get worse before it gets better.
Mhm. Hey, recently I heard that they're looking at expanding the criteria though, that sport shooters, IPSC shooters.
We'll see.
Interesting. So just to on that, Ben, we had talked. There was the possibility of sport shooters having exemptions up here. They were talking about this being like Olympic sport shooting and that kind of thing. We're hoping it would include IPSC so that we could do more fun stuff. Buy handguns if we needed to, replace them if they broke. Otherwise, like, okay, great, you've got like a Shadow or a Tenfo or something like that, frame breaks on it, or some like major part breaks on it. You might be hooped. In Canada. So maybe that'll come in. Anyone else have any questions for Ben?
I was just actually had one come to mind, and just trying to think of how to phrase it.
Are you still training with an optic ready CZ?
This week I'm shooting a Walther.
Are you? Which
Oh,
one?
the PDP.
Mm-hmm. My friend from the Walther team is training with me, so I figured I'd just shoot the same gun as him.
Mr. Kim.
Yeah.
They're nice guns. Come on.
Yeah, they're
He
really
seems
good
to shoot
guns.
it fast.
Yeah.
Hwansik, he seems to shoot it pretty quick.
Yeah.
Pretty decent on his double taps. Yep. Cool. Well, if there's no other questions, Ben, thanks for coming on. Oh, sorry, Kyle, did you have a question there?
Yeah, I finally remembered and figured it out. So you were mentioning you put basically all your training and content online. You expand the mentality on that, because I know a lot of people, they'd put little clips in just to try and bring someone into the course. But I mean, if you're putting whole courses out there, obviously we know that you get the benefit being there, but the mentality behind that,
All right, so I kind of do it any way people want to do it. So I'll do a podcast, which people don't pay for. I have a digital coaching service, which people do pay for, and that has like another guy doing a podcast, which people pay for half of it. Or I have books, which you can buy, or you could just borrow from somebody. And I put whole classes on YouTube, which, are there for you if you want them, and they're free. What I find is that nothing I do takes away from anything else. It's like people have the idea that they're giving the class away for free if they put it on YouTube, but they're really not. I mean, it's not near the same thing as actually being there.
Yeah.
Like when I have people show up all the time who are like, "Oh, I shot this drill or I tried this thing, but yeah, now I understand it," or whatever. Like it's not the same thing at all. But giving it to people like basically like any venue that people want to consume the stuff, like have it there for them. Like that's kind of what I do. I think of it that way.
Yeah, I think your branding and your name is big enough that people, if you can go to YouTube University, but you can also, I think they'll want to actually train with you in person. So as well.
And there's something you said about having like a pro instructor actually analyzing what you're doing. You can
Yep.
watch YouTube, but you can't like really know what you're doing wrong unless you like know how to self-diagnose. A lot of
Yep.
people don't have the tools.
Well, like
to self-diagnose.
99% of the people watching the stuff on YouTube do not shoot seriously anyway.
Yeah, true.
Like they effectively don't matter to like what I'm doing. As far as like what I'm offering as a product, like it doesn't matter to them. It's just like informational or entertainment or whatever for them, which is fine.
So you mentioned it a little bit earlier when you said taking a video of the person and breaking it down. Do you think that's one of the best things somebody who is learning to shoot or wanting to get better, it's one of the best things that they can do? Take a video of their shooting, have somebody who actually knows what they're talking about and analyze it.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, you could just go shoot with more experienced people.
Yeah.
That will not be hard to find when you're new. Like that's probably the easiest way. But yeah, I mean, video of yourself is better than nothing.
Yeah.
For sure.
Get on the super squad. I like it. Get on the super squad. Get all the better shooters to tell you what you're doing wrong.
Yeah. Or how to do something right.
Well, I mean, just when you start, just go to a match and like,
yeah,
pretty much everyone there will know stuff that they can teach you.
Yeah.
When you start, then you'll progress past that pretty quickly.
Yeah, my first match was like really eye-opening. I thought I was like, yeah, I can shoot well. And I went to my first match and I was like, oh, I can't. Actually, I'm terrible. But a lot of people out there just have no idea where they stand and what skills they might have or not have. Sergey was asking, what's the best country to give courses at, other than the U.S.?
Yeah, let's put that caveat in there.
Man, I don't know. That's good. It would definitely not be Kingston, Ontario. If that's that's where he lives.
Yeah, that's where Kelly is as well. She's in Kingston.
All right, fine.
Good stuff. Awesome. Well, we're at 5:30 here, so thanks for coming on, Ben. Maybe before we let you go, let people know where they can find out about your stuff, where they can buy your books, and all that other good stuff.
BenSteger.com is my website. It has course listings. BenStegerProShop.com has stuff to buy. PracticalShootingTrainingGroup.com is the digital coaching thing I mentioned, and yeah, I think that's it. The books are on Amazon, so they're pretty easy to find.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks again for coming on, and thanks for giving us the opportunity to talk to you.
Thanks.
Awesome. Maybe I'll invite you to Kingston.
And thanks, Ben Stoeger, for coming on and telling us about being an instructor and other little bit of chit chat.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked actually. So specifically, I think that Adriel, you brought up a really good point. Sorry, I'm joking in the background. The focus on the target. With handgun drilling close range. That's some of the things that I've been instructed on as well. So just basically, you're not going to hit, you're not going to miss. So just focus on the target and drill it. Same thing with carbines as well. Close. Meh.
I do just target focus all the time for close or for far.
Or close. Yeah.
It's I've never looked at the front sight. I notice it, like you notice it coming into your vision and put it in the notch. It's hammer it. Yeah.
However, if I'm taking a shot from 30, 40 yards, I'm going to line up those freaking sights.
Target focus, line them up, though. You can do it.
Trust the target focus.
Trust it. Can't do it.
Trust in it.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Give yourself to the target focus.
Turn yourself over to the dark side of going target focus only.
Okay.
Oh, and the including the sight on your red dot like forces it, right? So that's
Yeah,
that's interesting.
The whole point there. Yeah.
I totally understood that when he talked about that because we tend to focus on certain things, and why were we looking at the red dot through the? Just do it. Tape it over.
Yeah.
Yep.
Into listener feedback,
Mhm.
and I think Facebook we've stayed pretty much on top of here tonight. We don't.
Yeah, Mike
Yeah.
brought up a good point. So he said you can't put a price on having to change megs during a stage. So he was talking about T1X megs that are 15 rounders. Absolutely. And so Russ brought up a good point. He says he's never seen anyone shoot skeet well with side by side, and it's true. You can't really do that. You can do over and under really well because you're lining up. It's okay for partridge. So go ahead and do it. Do it. I really do think that we need to do a show a little bit more in depth on side by side and over and unders.
Cool.
I like them. I like mine.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't think there's anybody else.
Yeah, we don't think so.
Okay.
No emails this week.
Nope.
We do have a Cabela's link. Are we gonna do that this week or?
Yeah, why not? Bring it up.
Yeah. Okay.
Sweet.
So we did have a few things purchased through our Cabela's link. So we got 3 1022 mags, 10 boxes of Browning BPT 9mm ammo, and a Benchmade Osborne 940 folding knife.
And that might be the topic of one of our upcoming shows.
Yeah, we were talking about that too.
Yeah.
I think that we need to do that. So it looks like people are going to Maple Seeds 1022.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That 9mm ammo was a good price too.
Yeah.
What about the we were going to talk about some knives. I'd like to know if those that are listening are interested in us doing it's a gun show, but are you interested in us talking about knives as well? Put your hands up.
And if you're not, we don't care. We're doing a show on knives anyways.
So I do have another question.
Too late.
About that.
It's in the schedule.
So would knives also include multi-tools like Leathermans? Are we strictly doing knives? Or should we do
knives and multi-tools?
Anything with the
One with
blades, so
multi-tool?
swords, axes, everything. No.
Really?
I don't know.
Sure, why not?
Machetes, knives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Boot knives.
Why not?
Boot
Those ones
knives.
you like the bat. If you're the bad guy, you kick on the ground. You get a boot knife come out. The
Pokers.
good guy like defeats you, even though you got the boot
Pokers.
knife.
Pokers.
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 Yes. Pokers. Nothing.
Like
Never
fire
mind.
pit.
Move on. Walk by. Nothing to see.
All right. Okay.
All right. So if you are buying something from Cabela's, just go to our website and click the link. It's right on the front page there, and it doesn't cost you anything extra, but it gives the show a little bit of a kickback if you use our link. And once a month, we're gonna compile what people bought, and we're gonna go through them and see if you bought anything interesting.
Yeah.
We
get shop free vicariously through you. Buy some really cool stuff.
Yeah. YouTube, there were a couple comments on there. There was from Dwayne S. on the Charles Daly 101 video. Says, I have the 20 gauge 28-inch barrel. I can't talk tonight.
Yeah. Okay.
And I love that shotgun. Accurate AF.
20 gauge. I like 20 gauges as well. So.
Oh,
Dwayne.
I had some slip-on butt pads come in the mail today. I bought like some cheap ones from China. They just showed up in the mail, so I'm putting them on that gun that my kid was going to shoot, that 20 gauge. And
oh yeah,
I think that's it.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Because it's too light. It's a 5-pound shotgun. It's just too light. Just gets too much speed recoiling.
Yeah.
You got something from Katie.
Yep, from Kyle D on episode 477. Said, thanks for all you do. I can always count on you to provide a laugh or two and helpful information. Can you weigh in on the black hole that is laser trainers? Seems to be a large amount of people who deem it as useless and compare it to a video game. What are your experiences? Are they just dust collection devices?
No, Mantis X.
I'm taking some people to the range this weekend. And my normal MO, if I can get them at my place, if they meet me on my place, then we go to the range afterwards in one vehicle. I get them in the basement with a handgun and a laser bullet in it. And the whole reason I do that is I want them to see where it impacts versus the sights. Because sometimes some people don't align the sights properly. And the quickest way to get confirmation that you're doing it properly is by seeing the dot. And some people will also like slap the hell out of the trigger. And you can see, oh, you see how the red dot like went down and to the left? Now, what I need you to do is nice, slow squeeze of it. Now you can see it. So I use it for like confirmation that they're doing the right thing. And then I take it out of the gun and we go to the range. So that's primarily what I use mine for.
Yeah, I think I don't have one, but I think it would be good for just training that your trigger finger and that you're not pulling your shot when it breaks.
Exactly.
You can see that. Yeah, you can see that in there. I think like the downside to the laser trainers is that sometimes you focus on the laser and not like the steps that you're supposed to be doing. So some people don't like them for that reason, but it's just a tool, right? As long as
I know there's one out there that it doesn't actually send the laser out until you fire the shot, and it actually records it on your phone or whatever, so you can actually see where that ended up.
Yeah, mine does that. Yeah, but I almost never use it for that kind of a thing. I'm usually looking for the Mantis X does give better feedback on what happens when the trigger goes off, and can give you some ideas about what to try. The laser thing is it's fun as a competition. Like with my kids, sometimes I'll get like, let's compete and see how we can each do kind of a thing, and compete for accuracy and that kind of thing. It's fun for that. But I don't like the Mantis X is better for feedback on what the trigger's doing than the laser at the far end and seeing it going down or swooping or whatever.
Right. Okay.
I like using them for visual confirmation. You pull the trigger, that's where the dot went. That's probably around where a bullet would go, and they get to see if their alignment's correct or not. It's so hard to diagnose that at the range. Someone's like not hitting the target. You're hitting too high. You're hitting too high. They don't know what they're doing wrong. You got to dick around. You got earplugs in. You got to like try to figure it out on the. I'd rather do it at home with a laser dot that is easy to see.
Yeah. Cool. Well, thank you to Dwayne and Kyle for commenting on those YouTube videos. We got nothing from Instagram, nothing from Facebook. If you would like to email the show, you can send an email to slamfireradio@gmail.com. We do have a new Patreon. We got Patrat for $2. So
hey, Patrat, welcome to the
thank
club.
you. And if you're listening, send your address in, and Adriel can get that shipped out.
Send you a patch, you Patrat. Sorry, I had to. Thank you for supporting us, though. It's awesome.
And we have recently uploaded some videos on packing for the range and such for our Patreonies, and we do have some stuff coming up in the future. Shout out to recommendations. Do you have anything?
I do.
Okay, Kelly?
So I just wanted to say thank you to the people at Delask. I ordered some stuff, and it got shipped out within a couple of days, and I received it. So all kinds of stuff is going to be happening to some rifles this weekend. Going to upgrade them. So yeah, Delask is really good customer service and good product as well. So thank you to them. And as I said, thanks to Kyle for setting me up with some boots, and Russ for taking over some of the events in Ontario. And yeah, and as I said, Ragnarok for setting us up so that we're going to be super safe at the range. Awesome.
Cool.
Adriel, I saw you type in there.
Yeah, I just remembered, and I can't believe I forgot, but I sold some guns to Thomas. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I gave him a pretty good deal, but the like a shotgun and a 22, and it freed up some cash on my side. So I was like, oh, what guns am I going to buy? And you know what happened?
What?
My washer died.
Oh, no.
So I didn't get any guns. I went and got a new washer.
Yeah, I remember that.
But,
I was going to buy a gun and I had to buy a new fridge and stove. Remember that?
Yeah.
That's what happens.
Yeah, that life stuff gets in the way sometimes.
Yeah.
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 That's awesome.
Mo, do
No,
you have
nothing
any?
for me.
No?
No,
I don't
sir.
have a shout out either, so we're just gonna sign off. Go check us out on Gun Owners of Canada. Give us a like on Facebook. Give us a review on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, wherever. Join the CCFR, and we will see you guys next week.
Thanks, Ben Stoeger, for coming on.
Good night.
Later.
Thank you. Good night.
Bye.